everybody, this is Carol with Carol Joes, and today is Tuesday, so it is Tip Tuesday. I am going to show you how to end a necklace, or you can be making a bracelet, anklet, whatever it is that you want to string, using crimp tubes. I use sterling silver 2mm crimp tubes, and I'll bring those up closer. There you go. Let's see if we can get it to focus. It's hard to get things. There we go. So it's a very small crimp tube. That is what I use to end my designs with. You take the end of your cord or your wire here, and I'll explain all of the wires on a live that I will be having on August 20th at 11 a.m. Central, if you want to join me then. Else, you can always watch the replay over on YouTube. You put your crimp tube on the wire. You will take half of your closure. It doesn't matter what kind of closure. It could be a toggle. Here I have a split ring with a lobster claw clasp. I'm going to bring, you see how I've got my lobster claw clasp and I'm using that 6mm split ring? I bring it over the top. I go back the opposite way that I just came through with that, and I'm going to push that down. I want it to have some wiggle room here, but I don't want it to be so big that I've got a big gap. Right there you've got the wiggle room and you don't have a whole lot of a gap. That's perfect. You are going to use a crimp tube plier. If you notice here, there are two ovals. This is the outer oval, that's your inner oval. You're going to use the inner oval the first time you crimp and the outer the second time. The difference between the two, you can kind of see right here. This one has a U shape in it with a little bit of a divot in it. It's very hard to see it in the camera, but it has a little bit of a divot. That divot is going to create what I call the hot dog effect, an open hot dog bun. So what you do is you take that second one there, see where I'm in the second one, get it in there. Do you see how I can't see my crimp tube on either side? That is perfect placement. I'm going to push down. When you bring that up close, you see there is a divot in the middle. Right here, I can put my fingernail down in there. It's like an open hot dog bun where it does that U shape. I'm going to take and put the open side away from me, go in with my crimp pliers in the outer, and see how I'm in that one right there? And I am just going to push that together, and that is going to crimp it together. Use your fingernail to tug on it, and you have good crimp if it did not move. Take your beads and push them over the second wire here. Lift up your project and take out all the extra. If you notice here, I do not have any extra room in my entire project, meaning space between the beads where you can see the wire. We are going to take the second crimp tube, put that on. We are then going to take our 6mm split ring. You can use a jump ring if you like. I use split rings because they don't fall off. You'd have less chance of losing your design with a split ring over a jump ring. I'm going to go back through that crimp tube the opposite direction. There we go, we got it in there. And I'm going to go through, if I can go through, I try to always go through a couple of beads. That one's being stubborn and not wanting me to go through that second one. So we'll just go through the first one. We want to keep this tight so that we do not have any extra space. Do you see how right here, I have space between those beads and I can see the wire. I don't want that. I want to push that down, push my crimp tube down, use my fingers to hold the beads in place, grab the wire and tug on it, and hopefully get a little bit of that space out, but leave this so that it is movable. But if you look at this right now, my thing keeps moving up. I want it to go down. There we go. There we have it. Now we're going to take our crimp pliers. Oh, he's got a little bit too much. I'm going to try that harder again. There we go. It's a fiddling moment, and that's all I can say is keep fiddling until you get it to the right place where your beads are all together and you have enough space that this end is going to wiggle but not be too tight. And when it's too tight, you know it because it will just sit there very stiff like this. You see how that's stiff? That's too tight. But if I leave that there and just push that down, now I've got the room, and that is what I want. I want that to stay down there until I crimp it. Crimp that on the back inner oval. Turn this away from me and crimp it the second time. You'll see that that is crimped together. Let me bring that up close so you can see it maybe. See how that 1 or 2 millimeter size tube is very small now. We're going to take flush cutters. I bend my beads back as much as I can. Use my flush cutter. I'm going to show you here after I get this in there. I leave my flush cutter on the bead, and I only get the wire that I want to cut off. Do not go in so far that you're going to cut both wires, just the one. Throw away that piece, and then you can close up, because I'm using the lobster clasp, so I just use it like that. And now we have what I call the Simply Classic necklace. It's just glass pearls on a necklace. Very simple, classic necklace. But that is how you do crimp tubes. I hope this is informative and easy for you guys to follow. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day.